Hey guys, Meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this Saturday mountain weather update, and today is absolutely a powder day in a lot of different locations, and it's much colder behind this storm system versus where it has been. It has been awfully warm. First stop is up in Steamboat, Colorado, and big time powder. Look at the Champagne powder cam. They're reporting 10 inches of new snow officially up there in the last 24 hours, and it's not done yet. There's still some additional accumulation in my forecast today up there in the northern mountains of Colorado. So, I mean, that's just fantastic to see. Big time powder day up there. Let's see what else is going on. There's your base cams. There's Thunderhead. So, looking pretty good. Let's go to Aspen, reporting 4 inches of new snow and still some snow coming down there. You could still pick up another couple inches of accumulation up there. Let's go to Utah. Here's the Wasatch Front. This is Solitude, 15 inches. I got to be honest. I mean, and look at the air temp, 8. So this is significantly colder than where we've been. This storm definitely over delivering, overperforming in the Wasatch. I mean, I thought maybe 6 to 10 inches, but to go 15, and I think even Alta went more. They're reporting 19, so I mean, that's double. That's what you call doing a lot with very little. So exceptional. It should be a great day up there. What's the temp? I'm curious. 9. Yeah, I mean, it's been so warm as of late, and hearing so many different stories and getting emails and how bad things had gotten. This is definitely a good thing. So in Colorado, this is the view back in Colorado. This is the view up at Loveland, reporting about 4 or 5 inches of new snow socked in. Temperatures have fallen dramatically from where they were. I mean, it was almost balmy in Colorado the last few days. Now down into the single digits, low visibility, still snowing. Jackson Hole reporting 10 inches of new snow, and my friend Miles Clark, who runs Snowbrains, had texted me a couple of times and said, "Hey, it's raining at the base of Jackson Hole Ski Resort," and that was really the story. I mean, it was raining in so many different places at different times with that atmospheric river flow. Now it's much, much colder. In fact, there it is, 6 degrees at the summit. So air temps have fallen dramatically, and that's good. That's what we needed. That's what's one of the things that helps to make snow production much more efficient, and that's what we saw in the Wasatch as well. So good stuff right there. Here's radar. I'll take you into Colorado and show you what's left of the storm system here in a second, but you can see a little bit of new moisture moving into the Pacific Northwest, and that might even be rain, snow all the way down into Seattle at sea level. Here's what's left over of our storm moving through Colorado. The cold front's pretty obvious. You can see the diagonal area here of snow production. We had about a dusting in Denver. Let me take you into the Northeast. Another ice storm kind of moving through the Mid-Atlantic and the Eastern Seaboard, Midwest. And that's not all. I mean, that's the whole pattern is loaded. Wait till you see my numbers. I'm going to take you all the way out through the 15th of the month, mid-February. Let me go over to water vapor and give you the lay of the land here. So oranges and reds are going to be your drier air in the low levels. Your moisture is going to be in the whites and the blues, and you can really see the front right there racing through. That's the one that generated all that snow in Utah, Jackson Hole, the Tetons, and it is snowing up in Montana as well. And there's a little bit of moisture right there moving into the Pacific Northwest. But what I'm focused on now is going to be this big trough out here. A lot of energy, couple of different storm systems. That's going to be a major. That's going to be the next storm cycle, and the snow amounts. We talked. I showed you the map yesterday that went all the way out to the 15th, and we're still looking at those types of numbers. In some places they've gone up a little bit. Some places they've gone down a little bit, but we'll be looking at that coming up in the forecast. In fact, since I've got Big Sky pulled up here, I'll just show it to you. There it is. They're reporting, I believe, 5 inches of new snow, and it's much, much colder up there as well. But the Lone Peak Tram Cam should be a great day up there. Here's my snow timeline, best odds of snow. There's a lot of dates here. So, for example, since we talked about Big Sky, light today, late 12 into 13, and then moderate 15, 16. In the Wasatch, light on the 12th, and then heavy 213, 214. That 213, 214, 215 storm looks to be major at this point. Tetons, you've got some leftover snow today into tomorrow morning, and then light 14, 15, but heavy on the tail end of that on the 16th. Colorado now appears to be one of the bullseyes for that next storm cycle. Um, PM 211 into 212 heavy, and then heavy 213, 214. And wait till you see some of the numbers I've got for western and southwest Colorado. I'm not going to go through all these. Tahoe, you've got some light snow coming, and then heavy on 213. That would be the front end of that next big storm cycle. And the northeast pattern's loaded. All right, let's drill down. I want to take you up to Alta, Utah, and show you the forecast meteogram. So this is effective about 9,000 feet. So a little bit of leftover snow potentially, but I think it's largely over today. Skies are clearing. And so temperature highs today will be in the teens, so much colder. We've cut about 50% off of the temps. On Sunday, that's going to be a beautiful day of skiing, high temps in the teens. And then on Monday, high temps also in the teens. So we're locked into the teens at 9,000. Next storm cycle is off the forecast chart here, so you can't see it yet. Okay, let me take you up to Wyoming. Here's that Jenny Lake corridor. And this is effective about 8,700 feet. Okay, so this has a tiny bit of snow left over early today. The thrust of this storm is over, but the winds are going to remain very strong, 40 to 45 miles per hour. High temps today in the single digits, so a cold Saturday up there in Jackson Hole. A little bit of snow late 8 into early 9. You can see that. That might account for 1 or 2 inches. Only in the single digits on Sunday and singles on Monday, and even colder, well below zero on Tuesday. And then eventually we bring in that next storm cycle. The winds settle down to late Sunday into Monday. Again, that's up in Wyoming. Okay, let me take you to the jet stream forecast because this is what's going to show what we've got coming down the road. So this is up at about 30,000 feet jet stream level. I'm looking for the brighter colors, the steering winds. And you can see the legend off to the right. Those are wind speed in knots. Okay, so we'll start at 11 o'clock today. Let's move ahead. Um, Everything that moves into the west is now being shuttled directly to the east, into the Midwest, East Coast, and into the Northeast. So all the energies is very efficiently being moved into the Northeast. That's why I've got so much snow up in that area, storm after storm. You can see the next storm system coming in to the west coast. This is late on Sunday, February 9th. That moves through the interior on the 10th. Here's late on the 10th, another storm system kind of rotating in on the back side of that one. Here's midday on the 11th. That moves through the interior. So some fast moving small fronts. But here comes the bigger system. So this is late on the 12th. Look at the Pacific Northwest. Pretty big dip in the jet here. This is midday late on the 13th. Now, this is probably the largest storm system of the entire period here, moving into the West Coast, especially California. Look at that dip in the jet right there. Pretty big trough. Midday on Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th. And that's got a lot of support, and it's digging pretty far to the south. So the track on this will be important to determine obviously who gets the heaviest snow. It's kind of bounced around north to south. We're back to that more of a southern track here. This is early on Saturday, February 15th, major snow for a lot of Utah, even northern Arizona with this solution, and a lot of western and southwest Colorado. And look at it move through into the 15th, midday late on the 15th. It moves through and becomes another storm for the East Coast. And that may not be it. You look to the west, another storm coming out of the northern tier. This is through midday on the 17th. Okay, let's talk snow accumulation over time. So on this map, remember the light blues are going to be under 3 inches, greens are 3 to 6, yellows are 6 plus, and reds would be 10 plus. So we'll start at 11 o'clock today. You've got some snow right there in the central to northern mountains of Colorado, very light leftover snow of the Tetons. There's your snow in the Pacific Northwest. And another storm, look at it hitting the Great Lakes. That one becomes a storm for the Midwest and the Northeast. Okay, so this is late today. You've got East Coast snow up into the Northeast, potentially 6 plus up there. A little bit of leftover snow continuing in Colorado, some snow kind of moving into Idaho and northwest Montana. All right, this is lunchtime on Sunday, February 9th. Things settle down a little bit, but then here we are late on Monday the 10th. The front is sliding down through Wyoming, clipping the eastern parts of Colorado, becomes another storm system for the Midwest and the East Coast. This is late on Tuesday, February 11th. Another front, another little storm system moving through Colorado, southern Wyoming. That becomes another storm system. So you see the pattern. All the energy becomes these East Coast storm systems. Look at that one moving squarely into the northeast. Now, okay, now time to refocus. Here comes our bigger storm for the west. This is probably the biggest one of the time period. So here's late on the 13th. Look at California, the Sierra getting nailed, Mammoth getting nailed, Nevada getting snow. That moves into Utah and looking at some potentially heavy snow through Utah, and then into western and southwest Colorado. This is 11 a.m. on the 14th, Friday the 14th. Look at the reds in southwest Colorado. Nailed all the way into the 14th, late on the 14th. And then that storm moves out into the plains and becomes a large Midwestern, and that could even hit Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and then moves up into the Northeast as a major storm system with wind. And then looking down the road, this is the 16th. Here comes the 17th, another storm system moving into the Intermountain West. So it's storm after storm. This is an outstanding pattern if you like big snow. All right, so all of today through the 15th, here's my official forecast. We'll start in the Wasatch, generally 1 to 2 feet of accumulation. That's my forecast. So the pattern, the storm track kind of shifted a little bit further to the south. So that does not favor the Tetons as much. Pulls the snow away from the Tetons, pulls it more into Colorado and Utah than anywhere else. So about a foot up there in the Tetons, 4 to 8, 3 to 8 up in Montana, 10s there through Brundage, Bogus Basin down in the Sun Valley, less as you go north because of that shifting storm track. 10 to 20 through Washington State and Oregon. Now, in the Sierra, most of the snow accumulation is from Tahoe south based on the storm track and looking at 2 to 3 feet of accumulation. Now, because of that storm track, the Snow Bowl of Arizona and Bryan Head of southern Utah get 1 to 2 feet of accumulation. Now, in Colorado, the biggest numbers are in the western and southwest part of the state, but everywhere it gets some pretty decent snow. It's pretty widespread. We'll start in southwest Colorado. I put 50 on the board there for Wolf Creek. I think with this storm track, that's entirely possible. And close to 3 feet over the top of the high San Juans through probably Silverton, Handies, a lot of Chicago Basin, a couple of feet through Telluride, down into Mole's Pass, down towards Purgatory. Potentially 10 to 20 through Taos, Ski Santa Fe, Angel Fire, Cuchara. Now, in the central to northern mountains of Colorado, I like the West Elks from Crested Butte, Gothic, all the way up into Snowmass for 2 to 3 feet of accumulation. I think that's entirely possible with the type of wind that we're going to see. As you close in on Vail, Summit County, Front Range, 20 to 24 inches will do it. I mean, that's significant. That would be one of our biggest snows if this pans out of the season so far in Colorado. For sure. Okay, let's go to the Northeast, and I got to tell you, I mean, the numbers here are big. Potentially 1 to 2 feet of accumulation here in the Northeast. I mean, you're looking at 2 to 3 different storm systems bringing moderate to heavy accumulation. The pattern's loaded. I mean, and the numbers could go even bigger than this, depending on the track. So 1 to 2 feet up in the Northeast, looking good. So we'll end on the big Western map here, guys, and I'm just excited for this. If this pattern holds, we're looking at some really good snow in several different storm systems. All right, take care. Enjoy the day today. I appreciate you tuning in here, and we'll talk later.